This is Vigilant Liberty Radio News from Independent Journal Review for January 23rd. Saudi Arabia's King Salman Abdullah passed away Friday at the age of 90. Abdullah ruled the nation since 2006, but had essentially ruled since his predecessor, King Fahd, had a stroke. King Abdullah's half-brother Merquin has been named Crown Prince and heir. The new king is 79 years old and was formerly Defense Minister and Governor of Riyadh. A British judge has denied a request that suspected child rapist Tobias Bowen be extradited to the United States. In 2010, Bowen was arrested and charged with 2 counts of child rape and could face a lengthy prison term if returned to the U.S. After being released on bail, Bowen fled to Africa and was eventually recaptured when he traveled from Holland to Britain in April of last year. His case has been making its way through the UK legal system since that time. The U.S. has an extradition treaty with the United Kingdom, and the U.S. has honored all of the UK's extradition requests. The UK, however, has denied 10 U.S. requests for extradition. UK magistrates ruled Bowen's right to liberty and security under the European Conventions of Human Rights would be threatened if he was extradited, and District Judge Margaret Rose said Bowen's right to liberty and security would be at risk if he returned to New York and faced an indefinite prison sentence. Bowen was remanded in custody until the U.S. authorities were contacted, but Judge Rose said he could be bailed out with a surety of £10,000. New York Democrat Sheldon Silver, Speaker of the State Assembly, has been accused of 5 counts of corruption by federal prosecutors, in the form of accepting kickbacks and bribes disguised as legitimate income. Silver has been Speaker of the Assembly since 1994 and is described as being one of the 3 men in a room with Governor Andrew Cuomo and Senate Majority Leader Dean Skelos, who negotiate what happens in the state of New York. Charges against Silver were read at a press conference Thursday, and there have been calls for him to resign. However, Silver denies any wrongdoing, and Assembly Democrats, including Majority Leader Joe Morelli, are standing by him. And 2 days before the premiere of American Sniper, star Bradley Cooper made a special appearance at the Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio, Texas, for a preview of the film. Some 260 service members and staff, as well as Chris Kyle's father Wayne, watched the screening in the hospital's auditorium. While the staff was viewing the movie, Cooper was in the Institute of Surgical Research and Burn Center Rehabilitation Gym and was handing out signed movie posters and T-shirts to wounded warriors and hospital staffers. This has been Amy Curtis with your Vigilant Liberty Radio News from Independent Journal Review for January 23rd.
VLR.
This show is produced by IJReview.com.
This show is copyright by VLR Media. All opinions of panelists and guests are their own and may not reflect the opinion of VLR Media, the host, or anyone else. Two minds are better than one. Time for the right mics with Mike Miller and Michael Hausum.
Happy Friday, Hausum. Gosh, man, a week is already at an end. Welcome to the Right Mics with Mike Miller and the aforementioned Mr. Hausum. 412-567-6879 if you'd like to weigh in, again, how right we are, never wrong, and smartest people you've ever listened to on the radio, or how stupid we are, and we're always wrong. But if you're going to tell us that, bring it, all right? You can listen live, obviously you are now, at either our Spreaker site or You're maybe on the right mics.us. Follow us on Twitter at the right mics. And again, that is MICS. Very clever double entendre there. So, how are we doing today, brother?
We're doing good, man. It's beautiful, warm, clear, hot morning in Newport Beach.
Hot defined as what temperature?
It's about 70 outside, but it's crystal clear. It'll be close to 80 today.
All right, so you're right as we speak, only 49 degrees higher than I am right here. So
Oh, that's nothing then.
no, it's no big deal. I mean, it's sunny. Sunny. Jessica, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well.
Are you? I don't need a weather report from you, but
How unbelievably boring. Oh, well, let me tell you about my weather here in Newport.
I
yeah.
haven't been outside, so I wouldn't know.
Well, see, there you go. So, all right, so we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. We have no guests again. Perhaps one of our faithful followers will ring us up. But so, dude, the fallout continues over. Obama has panties in a wad over not being properly warned or correlated with, if you will, consulted over Boehner inviting Bibi Netanyahu to speak before Congress. So this continues, doesn't it?
It totally continues.
The Rob Lowe thing is interesting to me.
Oh yeah, on the visitation thing, yeah, that's interesting. Now it's part of it. I was doing some research on writing something this morning, and about a week and a half ago, the president and Netanyahu had a phone call, and the source that I found stated that Obama, in no uncertain terms, told Netanyahu to stay out of the U.S., the political leadership's discussion on how to handle Iran, that he did not want Netanyahu to get involved in that conversation at all.
Now, who is saying that?
You know what? Let me find that source that I had.
Because as you're looking for it, that implies that Obama was aware as discussions within the House were maybe going on. But I read a report that what really pissed Obama off, and again, maybe this happened in conjunction in a short time frame, but that Boehner, made him aware what was happening just before he announced it. Now, I don't know, just as in quotes, so I don't know.
Yeah, so here's the background on that. It was on January 12th. And let me pull up the source for this. It's it looks like a British Jewish news source, Haaretz.
Yeah, that's, yes. And you can't read the story without, it has a firewall, you have to sign up. But
yeah, so the conversation happened. So the conversation that Obama and Netanyahu had, this was a week before Boehner invited him to speak. So it wasn't their conversation didn't have anything to do with Netanyahu potentially coming to speak. It was just as a general thing.
Okay.
My guess would be behind the scenes, the Republicans are big fans of Netanyahu and vice versa. So it's not hard for me to imagine that there are conversations that happen between Republicans or Republican staffers and Netanyahu's office.
Sure, but to be fair, I mean, there are multiple Democrats as well. Chuck Schumer and other Jewish Congress folk in New York. So, but yeah, for argument's sake, let's go. The Republicans are a better friend of Israel than are the Democrats.
Generally speaking, yes. So that's what kind of started the whole thing out, was the phone call between Netanyahu and Obama. And then 9 days later, Boehner announces, he's coming to speak. And then Pelosi comes out, and then Kerry comes out. Although remember yesterday we talked about that Kerry is not going to meet with them, but Kerry's issued some statements that, hey, he can come talk whenever he wants. I'm just not going to meet with them.
Because, okay, same thing. Because then, Obama, they announced yesterday as well that he would not do it. And of course, we talked about the real reason, wink, wink, was that Obama did not want to influence the Israeli elections 2 weeks after the UN General Assembly.
So John Kerry said that. What did he say here? That he's welcome to give a speech at any time in the United States.
Well, of course he is.
So, although the Jen Psaki made a comment that Kerry will not be meeting with him, but Kerry said, "Well, gosh, he can come over and talk whatever he wants." So Kerry's taking a little bit of a nuanced.
Well, as if he can't. I mean, if he were a foreign terrorist, I suppose, but of course he can. He doesn't need Kerry's permission. And you know what? Whenever you see Jen Psaki or what's the other one, Maria Harf. I just cringe when they're standing up there. It's like they're sorority sisters, way over their head. I mean, it's just. Do you ever watch comments from them?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I've done a few things about Jen Psaki over the year. It's pronounced Psaki or Saki?
Saki.
Oh, okay, you don't pronounce the.
It's a silent T, if you will.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's interesting.
But I think, yeah, they're just like children, and it's like they're even embarrassed. I don't feel embarrassed. They look very insecure, both of them, when they talk. But
her husband, by the way, is deputy finance director at the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee. I mean, they're all a bunch of insider politician types.
There's no question, and they will be. Hillary wins, they'll be out the next day, I would guess, because it's embarrassing that you have these two children, and I'm being facetious, but they're just representing the State Department of the United States on a daily basis is, it's beyond me. But anyway, moving away from them. Okay, so then we have Obama announcing again, along with Kerry, that we don't want to influence the election, as if just Obama existing as president of the United States and his past treatment of Israel is not already going to influence this election in a very positive manner for Netanyahu. So that's a joke. All right. All right. So then I put up this post this morning, and a little behind the scenes baseball. Hausen was working on something similar. That did make its way through the food chain. So it sounds like we are on exactly the same track here. But now, not only in Haaretz, but in the Times of Israel, which you can click on that link and get the full story. And I will just read my headline, because it even gets more hilarious than Obama's panties in a wad and refusing to see.
Right.
So he says, my headline, White House says Netanyahu will, quote, pay a price for congressional speech. And it's true. I mean, of course, it's always unnamed senior officials who will say stuff like this without going on the record. But he says to the Times of Israel, quote, we thought we've seen everything, but Bibi managed to surprise even us. There are things you simply don't do. He spat in our face publicly, and that's no way to behave. Okay, one more quote. Netanyahu ought to remember that President Obama has a year and a half left to his presidency, and that there will be a price. Really? That's coming from someone who obviously felt cleared to say it, from the President of the United States. Speaking cable. I mean, it's just, he's threatening him. With what, man? I mean, what would you suppose, even just, thinking out loud, what kind of price could he possibly be talking about?
Just whatever kinds of ends that Netanyahu is going to achieve or attempting to achieve internationally and diplomatically, maybe that either Obama will try to curtail that, or maybe just politically, maybe just within, some sort of subtle lack of support for him politically in the election, or some sort of support for whoever his potential opponent might be, something like that. There's either the political thing or the international thing. I mean, I can't imagine that it's going to be some trade issue or something.
Well, you know what? one would hope yes, I don't either, but one would hope it would be something more like that than something international. I mean, here you have Israel, obviously the best friend, the only democracy in the Middle East, the best friend of